What BeamNG vehicle should be remastered next? I made a video on this topic a couple of years ago, but the game has had a number of updates since then, so the answer should hopefully be different. Unfortunately, there is no scientific way I can calculate this, but in an attempt to make it not just opinion, I have devised a few ways to measure it, the most obvious of which is time since last remaster, so I have lined up here all the vehicles that have not been added or remastered in the past 3 years. I also just want to mention that I have a new Discord server, the link is in the description if you feel like joining. My next measurement of how much they need a remaster is the number of configs. Now obviously this is not perfect, as some vehicles should have more or less configs than others, but generally more configs is an indication that the vehicle has received more attention from the devs and so is in less need of a remaster. You can see here how many configs each of these vehicles have. The notable ones are those with more than 25, the Legrand, Vivace, I-Series, Bluebuck, D-Series, H-Series, Roma and Wendover, which we can remove from the list, and those with less than 10, the Special, Miramar, Widgeon and Wentworth. The Widgeon is probably one of those that doesn't need a remaster despite the few configs, because it's such an obscure car that doesn't have that many options available in real life, but the Special, Miramar and Wentworth are definitely on my list. This is where it becomes more opinion based, because I think that the Hopper and the Sunbus also deserve remasters, but it's not just my opinion that I'm thinking about, because I went over to r/BeamNG and sifted through what other people have been calling for remasters of. All of my 5 picks came up there to some extent, and I also saw the SVR4 and Barstow mentioned a few times. But the top 3 that are really being called for are the Hopper, Miramar and Wentworth, which I definitely agree with. I am desperate for a bus remaster, and ideally a bus route mode remaster, because somehow BeamNG is one of the best bus simulators out there, but it could be way better, and the bus could be way better. I have a mod that makes various other versions of the DT something L, so there's a short one, and a slightly shorter one, and then a slightly longer one, and a couple of different bendy buses, and that's the sort of thing that could be incorporated into a bus remaster, but there's also various other things that could be improved with it, like just the general quality of the textures and all of that stuff that they tend to improve when they do remasters, but in terms of how much it actually needs a remaster, the bus is perhaps not the highest. If I had to order the top 5 vehicles that need a remaster based on the method of measurement I've just used, I would say the Sunbus in 5th. It's not terrible, but it could do with more of the polish and quality of the more recent vehicles. Burnside Special in 4th, it needs updating to improve the quality and amount of options available, but it is a more obscure vehicle than the top 3, so I don't think it's as much of a priority. The top 3 are all very close, and all for the same reasons, but I would put the Hopper in 3rd, Wentworth DT40L in 2nd, and the Miramar in 1st. Just by looking at the Hopper, you can tell that it's not been updated in a while. It simply doesn't look up to the standards of the more recent vehicles added to the game, particularly on the interior, although it does have a decent variety of configs. The bus I've already talked about, and the Miramar just needs a lot of everything because it doesn't have many configs, and the configs it does have are rather simple and bland. There's not really any aftermarket configs. It also just doesn't look anywhere near as good as the more recent additions to the game, so I think it could do with a general overhaul of its textures and model. Hopefully the next few updates feature remasters for these vehicles I've picked out, and personally I'm hoping for an entire bus update, but that's just me. Hopefully this video isn't too controversial, but if you do disagree with my very rigorous investigation that's concluded, do let me know in the comments, and if you feel like liking, subscribing or joining the Discord, that would be greatly appreciated. But that's going to be it for this video, so thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.